And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. So we are going to be settling into one of the older maps in that pool. Welcome one and all once again to Romanticide. That is a curious, hold up, what's going on? Why is Romanticide here in the map pool? Well, here in the OSC Season Championship, and mainly in OSC events in general, there is an extended map pool. There's an extended map pool where they do reintroduce some of these older maps. They introduce Romanticide alongside Gressvan. If you're maybe a newer viewer of StarCraft, of the esports side of things at least, you might not be familiar with this. But Romanticide was in the map pool back in 2021, I think it was around 2021, maybe beginning of 2022 as well. But it's been a couple of years. Since we've had Romanticide in the map pool. It's great to be back, and we'll see how our players do approach this. Romanticide is a very large map, very much so macro oriented as well. There's a ramp coming into the natural. Likewise, the third base is quite secure. Also a ramp headed towards that base. There is a mineral wall that you can mine through. You can also proxy on the other side and mine through those minerals. This is a very common proxy location, but for the time being, standard openers so far. And we are very much used to seeing some longer macro games on Romanticide. So far, economic opener, Rax into expand at a Cure. Likewise, NightMare going for his own gate cyber expand as well. I'm sure these two have played many games on Romanticide in their career of StarCraft. And we'll see how we do open things up. Likewise, when it comes to the center of the map, it is not too wide open because of all these rocks, because of all these choke points. It's a reason why we often do see the map split in half. It is not too easy kind of breaking through these locations and gaining ground. Likewise, a little high ground, little points of elevation. There is a rich sourcing gas geyser here that you can try to take advantage of. And NightMare is setting up for a proxy gateway. Okay, the proxy is on the way. Rebraz arrived, threatening the natural. Does threaten. Cure rotating up into the main. Looking for a way in. Attempting to scout the tech. Cybercore is done. Now, I'm assuming that this is just a proxy gateway, but we'll see if a NightMare commits into something a little bit different. Yeah, gateway. As the gateway is on the way. Now, this is just to reinforce. It's just to reinforce across the map. I believe the pylon might barely be within range to warp in on the other side of the wall as well. To harass, to reinforce. As NightMare does open up 3 gates. Is going to be a 3 gates. Reaper dips in, confirms the gateway, confirms there is no tech, there's no Stargaze, Twilight Council, or Robo not yet in the main. Tech is thrown down here at the natural. Going to be a Twilight Council. Delayed Twilight Council, might I add. He scouts. Yeah, he scouts, he checks, he does scout the proxy. Again, as we mentioned, this is just a very common location. Very common proxy location. And Cure, he remembers, does check, does confirm. Does confirm. As the depths stay warping across the map, they can threaten a shade. There's a Widowmine in the mineral line. Oh. I'm moving in. 5 adepts. They're going to be denied. Shades in the light shot. Boom, massive connection. One of them goes down, massive damage, and with that, Curie shuts this down. The bait, the read out of Cure. He will clean this up. Nice juggle. Nice juggling saves the Hellion. The control. Cure, calm down. We don't. My God. We don't need to try this hard, Pappy. It's fine. Ooh, as the Hellion finally goes down. There we go. NightMare will clean it up. As Curie does shut down the pylon, we'll break down the proxy, and behind this is going into Banshee tank. Again, a very common follow-up here amongst the Korean Terrans. When we think about this build, we think of Bjorn, we think of Maru, we think of Cure as well. Very aggressive. We'll see what he can get done. Oh no! As the Medivac is called out. Nice movement here by NightMare. Does catch the medevac. Shuts down a couple of Marines. Marines do get picked up. Henry is back at home. We have 2 gates in the main, a 3rd gateway, 4th gateway on the way as well. So 4-gate blink out of NightMare. But it is a delayed 4-gate blink, as it did start with the Adept Harass and the Adept Aggression. And NightMare, he will expand. Ooh, going for a tech first. Templar Archives dead into expansion. Hello, Storm. Okay. You have my attention. Not Colossus. NightMare's being active. His drop is deflected. Forced back home. Building up his army. Now the Observer is aware of the tech labs at least. But did he spot the Banshee? Now, this is not too heavy of a commitment here. It is only a singular regular Banshee, not a cloak Banshee. And ideally, you want to wait for something to distract. You don't want to go into the natural yet. You want to wait for another drop to come in, another army to threaten, typically. As Curie's lying in wait. Alright, Class drop into the main. Going for the SCVs. Getting 3 SCVs so far, getting a 4th SCV as well. Very nice damage. Does get 4 workers. Going for the add-ons, takes down 2 of them. Once again, nicely done. At the same time, Banshee comes in while NightMare's distracted. He does warp in defensively back at home. That's going to be 4 probes going down. He gets 5. Well, it's going to be 6. 6 probe kills across the map. Nice damage here by Cure. Did take some losses, but he also deals some across the map. Lose some workers, does kill some workers as well. Going for his own drop. Storm is almost done for NightMare. High Templar gathering energy back at home. Observer gets spotted. And Cure, he's not going to be going for an all-in. He's expanding, getting a 3rd. Our first TvP today where we have a 3rd base. Let's go. 3rd is on the way. Cure moving out with his drop. Here comes the main arm. Remember, Storm is ready. Oh. Storm is ready. Ooh, massive potential going up, getting a Stalker. Bit of miscontrol there by NightMare. And the High Templar, they've loaded up. Again, that's 4 High Templar, at least 4 Storms. Proxy goes down. Drop across the map into the mineral line. Do we have a recall? Do we have a warp in? He commits. The tanks are exposed. He gets 1. He gets 2. Storm's going to be going up. Massive connections. Oh my god. The Storms, they shut down the bio. They shut down the tanks. And NightMare, he can just send it. There's nothing left. This is what a handful of Marauders. The boys are being pulled. Cure's in trouble. Across the map, he's taking damage though. 9 probes going down. But we might have another Storm. Oh, does he send it? He does. Yeah, Storm here in the mineral line. SCV's going down. Bunker should fall. I say that the repairs are too good. And across the map, that's 21 probes. Oh my god, he's killing everything. Cure, the double drop of Marines, they're ending the game. There's a recall. He recalls back home. There's nothing left. 33 probes left. Barely an economy. And Curie's on 3 CCs. Oh my god, the Mass Mule. The Mule Hammer, let's go. Cure, he lost his main army, but he survives. He has an economy, and NightMare, that was not worth it. If only he hadn't lost so many workers. What was that? How many? 33 probe kills. Crazy. 33 workers going down in total. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it was a beautiful dive and then some solid Storms out of NightMare, but just did not have enough to end the game. Couldn't close it out. And now Cure, he's skyrocketing ahead. He's just skyrocketing ahead at this point. He's on a 3-base economy, getting to the rest of his upgrades, his production, building up, getting further ahead, and the longer this goes on, the worse it is for NightMare. Now, can he recover? He can. With what? With Storms. As previously, if he gets some juicy connections, if he's able to collapse on the Bio Army or get into the mineral line, then he can recover. But it's a big if. And the problem is, now Cure knows that there's Storm, and now you can see he's pre-split. Like, he's just pre-spread here, ready for Storms. You can see, like, intentionally making sure he doesn't clump up. Intentionally getting ready for the Storms. NightMare moving in. Can go for the mineral line. I mean, he has to. SCV's going to be going down. Good Storms, only 3 so far. Another storm in the main army. How about this time? There's so many more marauders. Cure, he can tank some storms. The High Templar up. He gets 1. He gets 2. Massive pickups. Takes down 2 High Templar, and NightMare, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Drop back into the natural. And going for the Templar Archives. Ambitious. Doesn't quite get it. Templar Archives does survive. And Cure, he's moving out. He's moving out with the death blow of an army. Even with some good storms, I'm not so sure he can be stumped. Vikings Age away. Oh, the Prism goes down. The High Templar as well. The Templar with the Prism, and I believe that's all the storms. No, okay, there's 5 left. There's 5 High Templar. Charge, let's say dive in. Storms, they do. I mean, there's feedbacks. There's a couple of storms. Forcing a bit of friendly fire. Nice free spread here by Cure. Spreads out the army, stims in, takes down a High Templar. There's 1 High Templar left. Oof. Another storm popping up. But again, these are still rough trades here for NightMare. Curious pushing himself up the ramp. He wants those Stalkers. He wants that Archon. Gets EMP off. Archon goes down. And there's no shield batteries. No shield batteries. GG gets called as NightMare gets broken. And Cure, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Cure. Having a rough start to the game in a way, or I should say a really strong moment for NightMare, catching out the main army, taking down both of those tanks, landing some insane storms on the bio. It looked like it was over then and there, and I was paying little attention to the drops just because at the time, I think initially they got like 9 probes. They killed 9 workers. I was like, oh, 9 workers, that's it. But the drops, they just kept going. They hit the main base, hit the third base as well. They got 27 probe kills in total, alongside the worker kills killed earlier by the Banshee, 33 in total with that. GG. GG, well played. NightMare's economy was crippled, and NightMare did not break Cure back at home. Cure, he barely held on with the repairs. GG. GG, well played. Cure takes the lead. Whew, but that was a close one. That was could have gone either way. The drops, the medevacs, the Marines, they were the MVPs, pappy. MVP double drop. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player representing Streamer Zone. It is NightMare. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. Hello, Cure. What's going on? As we are setting up for a proxy, it's going to be, I would imagine, a proxy. Yep, proxy racks here on the other side of the map. Based on its location, looks like proxy Reaper to dive into the main to get some economic damage early on, to wreak havoc and to give himself a nice little lead. Now, the added complexity to this isn't just proxy Reaper. This SCV can also throw down a bunker on the low ground as well, behind the mineral line, to also wreak some havoc and to have a bit of an outpost here for the Reaper to fall back to. So we'll see if he goes for the bunker as well. So Cure is setting up. Yesterday, if you were here, Cure, he did a proxy Marauder creator. That did happen, but this isn't really the setup for a proxy Marauder. Not quite. As we should be seeing a factory back at home. Reaper's on the way. Meanwhile, NightMare, he did initially start the Zealot, does cancel, goes for the expansion. Standard opener out of NightMare. Here comes that Reaper. The SCV does pull back home, does not go for the bunker behind the mineral line. So Curie doesn't invest as much or as heavily. And what I should emphasize as well is that that bunker move is significantly weakened in the latest patch. As a reminder, you can no longer salvage. Or, I mean, you can try, but nowadays, if you attack a salvaging building, it cancels the salvage. So it is less viable to go for that bunker. Less viable than it used to be. True. Meanwhile, Curie does dip in. Does head for the mineral line. Getting 1 probe so far. Good start. Gets 1 probe. Can he get 2? So far, kiting back. Boys being pulled. Nice control here by NightMare. Does pull away the weakened probes. But he's getting behind the mineral line. Oh, not quite. Is zoned away. Adept arrives, and NightMare defends. So far, so good. NightMare did lose 1 probe, but only 1. A lesser player would have lost more. So some nice defense. Second Reaper has arrived. Back at home, Cure going to be expanding. There's that factory on the high ground. Is transitioning. But Lassie has kept both Reapers alive. Just threatening NightMare. Keeping up the pressure. Behind this, we have our Stargate opener out of our Protoss. Again, makes sense. On some of these larger maps, it is much more viable to open up Stargate. Amygdala does count. And with this, NightMare can open up Oracle or Phoenix. We'll see what he goes for. Oh, as the Reapers, they do have the way with the Adept. Ay, ay, ay. They do outrange the Adept just barely. They get some free damage. Curie pulls away. Rotating into the main. Adepts, they keep up. NightMare, he will force us back. Checking the vision. Curie, he did not scout the tech. He's unaware as to what's going on. Back at home, playing it safe. Opening up Cyclone into, I would imagine, Viking. Oh, medevac. Never mind. With the arrival of the medevac, that should mean that Curie is going to be being more aggressive here. First Cyclone has arrived. Catches out the Adept. Massive pickup. Ooh, Adept goes down. And Curie's going to be reinforcing. Going to be rallying across the map. NightMare in a bit of trouble. Moves out with the Oracle. Here comes the lock-on. Poison being pulled. Adept is going to go down. Massive pickup. And NightMare's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Probes are going down. He has one Adept left. And he might lose everything here. Cyclone taking a lot of hits. Oracle does dive into the mineral line. SV's going to be going down. Stalker rallies in. Is going to be shut down though. Yeah, Reapers, they will clean it up. Stalker does fall. Second Cyclone does arrive. Oracle across the map getting 4 SCVs. This is good damage, but is it enough? As Curious still popping up. Reaper in the main base, distracting the Adept. Boys, it's around. Let's go. The citizens arrest. The Cyclone gets surrounded. Medevac arrives too late. Medevac, there's nothing here. Medevac has to back off. Across the map, 7 SCVs, but alas, it looks like the Oracle does get away. Okay. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Where are we? Reaper goes in. Getting a bit more scouting information. But won't get much more done. Has NightMare. He is working towards Blink. Blink is on the way. Taking a moment here. Cure, he is down 5 SCVs, but he has mules, so he can sustain himself. Likewise, now taking up into his 3-1-1 setup, into stim, combat shields, and tank production. We're calming things down. We're settling into a longer game. We're calming down, Pat. We're calming down. But NightMare isn't done. NightMare, he has map control. He has the Oracle to threaten the main, and we have Stalkers to threaten the natural. Blink is almost done. Now, thankfully, Cure, he has a tank. He has a tank. He has a bunker. He's looking quite secure here at the natural. The main base, less so. Stim is vulnerable. And NightMare, he could dive into the main. He could try and deny Stim. That is an option. NightMare, what does he go for? The Adept threatening a shade. Stasis is set up. There's no tank on the high ground. The Oracle does confirm. And now it's time. Send it, Pappy, send it. Up, Blink's in. Viking goes down. Nice pickup. But the tank has arrived. Did we take too long? Yeah, we did. Tech Lab, it will survive. Stim should finish. Tank repositions. Cure holds. Cure does hold. It was a nice pickup here going for the Viking, but Cure, he does hold on. Behind this, NightMare taking a third base. Containing his opponent. Does contain. Getting a couple of SCVs. That's 2, 3 SCVs going down. Shade into the main. Doesn't quite commit. Does get eyes on the add-ons. As one stim finishes, Cure can break out. Can break out. Still presuming back. Didn't know about salvage. Yeah, it is new to the most latest patch. Is a change to the latest patch, which is why, if you've noticed in pro games, we have been seeing less bunkers here in Mineral Lines. Because now you can't salvage, basically. Can't salvage, so it's a bigger commitment from Terran players. So that kind of addition to like Reaper harass has been taken away. Or has been phased out, I should say. Security does defend. Third CC on the way. Not going for an all-in. And Kira, he now breaks out. He can now expand. We can get into an embrace, a longer game set here. We can get into the mid game. Let's go. We have a back and forth. NightMare meanwhile finishing up charge. Committing to a gateway heavy composition. Oracle back into the main. 2 more SCVs. This Oracle's done quite a lot actually. 12 kills. 12 SCVs. NightMare, he breaks out. Oh, sorry, Kira breaks out. Takes out 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers. Oh, gets almost a 4th Stalker as well. Rough losses here for NightMare. And bleeding out a lot of units. Has to race back. Kira has momentum. Moving out across the map. Charge is done. Bear that in mind. Zealot drop into the main. And NightMare, he can collapse on the army. He does have enough. SCV's going down. Kira consolidating. But Kira, honestly, this army is looking exposed. And NightMare dives in. Kira has to get the hell out of here. Does pick up the tanks. Oh no! Oh my god. Does barely get away. One more volley. One more shot. The tanks, they survive. Oh my god. Okay. Blinks. Doesn't quite reach. Kira gets the hell out of there. And NightMare takes the 4th. 4th base is on the way. NightMare, I'm sure he's tempted. Going for another massive warp in. NightMare, he has momentum with mass charge lots. Alas, Kira, he is lacking SimCity here. Wouldn't mind repositioning. There are 2 tanks, 1 on the high ground. Sorry, 2 on the high ground. NightMare looking for a surround. Coming in from both angles. And NightMare, he should have enough to clean this up. The high ground tank's going to be an issue, but the Prism does get eyes on them. Going for the warp in. Does distract. Within range. And NightMare, he commits. Mine shot's going to be going up. Big connections on the Zealots, but the tank's going to go down. Tanks do 4. NightMare focuses down the Metamax. Gets 1. Oh, and he won't quite break through this. There's still that 1 tank on the high ground as well. NightMare forced to pull back. And that was a big investment. Does pull away. Kira, he does hold. Did cost him 2 tanks. But he does hold on. As NightMare catches a couple of transferring workers. 4th base getting up and running. Again, there's no gases here at the 4th or at the 3rd. And even just 1 gas here at the natural. So very gateway focused, very zealot heavy. Very zealot heavy. As NightMare is teching. Making 1 Colossus at a time. Here come the Zealots, they just keep coming. And he can try to get into the mineral line. Wouldn't mind does scout. Kira's aware. Rotate over. Spots the Zealot. Mindshell connects. Once again, good connection. And NightMare, he's just poking wherever he can. Building up his Colossus. Likewise, Kira getting to ghost production. Still very tense here for Kira. As the Observer sees everything. And NightMare, he's free to take more bases. Take more expansions. Personally, I would love to see more gases. I'd love to see like a 2nd, maybe even a 3rd gas geyser here on the way and getting a 2nd robo for more Colossi. But NightMare for now just going for a Swarm Tusk style. Just mass gateway units. Let's go. As NightMare, he's rallied into the main. He still has eyes on the main army. Prism does dive in. Kira, he does notice. Does pull back. As he's pulled out of position, here come the Zealots. But Kira, he is still in position. He's ready for this. Zealots are going to be deflected. Got to pull away. NightMare pushing in. Gets a turret. Doesn't get much. Prism goes down to the Vikings. And Kira holds. Kira, he is holding. NightMare, he's just unable to pull Kira apart. And now here we go. 2nd robo on the way. Disruptor production does take the 2nd gas geyser here at the natural. So finally able to afford a 2nd robo. Kira moving out. When it comes to a head-on engagement, I do favor Kira. He has a lot of ghosts, a lot of EMPs. Vikings are ready as well. Here he has momentum. As he moves out, NightMare setting up for a run by. Actually coming back with those zealots. Here simming across. Knocking down those rocks, allowing for reinforcements. NightMare moving in. Oh, stasis goes off. Nice stasis. Stasis trap does connect. This is a field. Oh no! Oh, another one as well. Now's the time. Now's the time. Zealots collapse in. They catch out the ghost. NightMare coming in from behind. A little bit misjudged, or it's not quite synced up. But regardless, another stasis. They just keep popping up. The stasis traps. Oh my god. The first stasis does run out. But the ghost is still going to be going down. The Colossus, they stand strong. And NightMare, he just shuts down the army, picks it apart. Vikings are falling. Colossus is still alive. Ghosts, they do come out of stasis just in time to go down. They get a massive fight here for NightMare. Here he falls back. Racing back home. Down in supply quite heavily. Is there a War Prism? Not quite. No War Prism. Delayed reinforcements. Warping in 11 zealots at a time back at home. Results are on the way. Mate, this Oracle's still alive, by the way. It's got 12 SCV kills and all these stasis traps. It's crazy. The power of energy overcharge. They just don't stop. And again, this is kind of like the new, I was almost going to say the new meta, but this is something that you see more often now in modern StarCraft in the new patch. Thanks to the energy overcharge, these Oracles, they just have so much more value here in every matchup, actually. So you see these stasis traps, these stasis fields. And Curie takes them to the face. More stasis, they just keep going. This is all from one Oracle. Let's go. He just has so many stasis traps inside him. It's crazy. Let's go. Curie now taking a 4th. Likewise, NightMare getting a 5th. NightMare rotating. Disruptors have arrived. They're with the main army. Dark Templar whirling across the map, headed towards the expansion. There's a turret to defend. And NightMare, he's maxed out. Oh, the EMP. Nice EMP. EMP goes up. And NightMare, he does commit. Novas, they do spread out. They take down one of the ghosts. Ooh, and a decent connection on the right-hand side. But is that good enough? Only 2 connections. The Colossus, they go down. Zealots, they charge in. They collapse you on the ghosts. Yeah, and Curie's being overwhelmed. EMPs are good, but it's not good enough. As Curie's being chased down, the ghosts are falling, the Vikings, the Medivacs, everything is going down. And behind this, NightMare just rallies across, warping in 11 zealots at a time. He's not done. The Novas! Oh my god, they don't quite connect. Second Nova does. The third Nova takes down the turret. And here come the zealots. Here come the reinforcements. GG gets called, and NightMare ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Let's go. GG, well played. And NightMare, he does fight back. With a much more chaotic style, of course. If you recall, this was a more swarm toss style, staying on a lower gas count, higher zealot count, higher gateway count, of course. Initially, it wasn't really paying off. He wasn't really able to pull Cure apart. Cure was doing an amazing job defending, keeping up with the zealots, keeping up with the run-bys, keeping up with the multi-pronged aggression, shutting down the warp prisms. But it all went south when Cure moved out into the center of the map. The push was good, but if you remember, he rotated through the center and he took 3 stasis traps to the face. With that, NightMare took full advantage of Cure. If it wasn't for the stasis traps, I feel like Cure, I mean, I favored his army. I did favor his army at the time. This was before there were any disruptors, of course. Cure had an insane army, but he got picked apart. Got picked apart then and there. GG. With that, we have a tied series, a tied score, and we're here to find out who takes the lead in the series. We're jumping into game 3. Let's go. Let's go. Here it just got chills when those stasis popped off. Ah, you're not wrong. He doesn't know why, but a shiver ran down his spine. Here he's gonna like create like a PTSD Oracle group, and Cure's gonna join. He's gonna be there for Hero. They're gonna be there for each other. Oh no. Oh no, the PTSD. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Gressvan, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Representing Streamer Zone, it is NightMare. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid, it is Cure. We go, as we are going to be settling in. And of course, welcome one and all to Gressvan. Once again, this is one of the older maps in the map pool. We did feature Romanticide earlier in this series, and now we're here on Gressvan. Gressvan, this was circa, what, 2022? Like 2022, coming into 2023 as well. So a bit of a more modern map in the map pool. It hasn't been too long since we've seen Gressvan, but of course, back in its era, back in its heyday, this was the macro map. Very large map in the map pool. Long rush distance by ground, very defendable as well. We do often see a lot of late game on Gressvan, but we'll see if we can get there. We'll see how both Cure and NightMare approach this in modern day. As of course metas have changed, metas have adjusted. For now, economic open out of Cure, going for a Rax expand. He's skipping his Reaper. Not uncommon for Terran players to do so. So no SCV scout, no Reaper scouts. Cure is just more focused on cutting corners and focusing on his own build. Now, because there's no SCV or Reaper scout, typically there's a Hellion follow-up, and you usually just dive with the Hellion. You just sacrifice it to get some kind of scouting information. That should be what Cure goes for. We'll see. We shall see. Oh no, it's bring back the super battery, too much stasis. I mean, in general, I think most players are fond of, I think the only people that complain about not having the super battery are like people on Reddit, like people that don't play the game. Like I think, I think the consensus amongst all pro players, like Protoss and non-Protoss alike, are that they enjoy the NG overcharge just because it requires, or it does give you more flexibility as a player. It's a little bit more microable, of course, as well. It isn't just set and forget like a super battery overcharge. So in general, I think everyone feels like it is a positive change, and I would agree with that. Good change. More interactive than just, you know, supering a battery. As we do have our tech of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of NightMare. Oh. Twilight Council into Blink. As that does recall away. Oh my god, barely nuts, never mind. Wasted recall here out of NightMare. Nice pick off by Cure. And he is building up, soon to move out. As I mentioned before, again, Hellion follow-ups are quite common here if you do skip your initial Reaper. So Hellions have built up. And not just Hellions, a Widow Mine drop as well, as we're committing into a quadruple mine drop. It's going to be 4 Widow Mines and a medevac, very committed here by Cure. We'll see what he can get done as Cure moves out. As he does commit across the map. NightMare trying to keep up. Behind this, how many gateways? Jesus, going into a 4-gate blink. I mean, this used to be MaxPax's 4-gate blink map. You're not wrong. Used to be very fond of it. But now NightMare fully walls up. Hellions, they are denied. But here comes the drop. Drop towards the natural. And I believe this drop will get eyes on all the gateways. Does see 2 here at the wall, and we'll see 2 more behind the wall as well. So big scout for Cure. Widow Mines, they do get dropped in. Boys, they pull away. Ooh, getting 2 probe kills. 2 workers go down. Widow Mines into the main, and NightMare, is he paying attention? Is he noticing? He is. Adepts are ready. Mine shots here on the workers. Once again, 4 probes for Widow Mines. Up, and 1 Widow Mine is saved. Nice moves here by Cure. Does save the Widow Mine, but he has to set up back at home. Remember, 4-gate blink. We have 4 gateways. We have the river. We have the War Prism as well. Sorry, 5. Wait, 5? Oh, no, 4. Wait, 5? What? Okay, let's go. This is borderline 2-base all in. I just made the assumption that it was going to be 4 gateways, but never mind. There's an extra gateway here, and NightMare is moving out. Back at home, what do we have? We have a bunker. We have a bunker on the low ground. Tanks are spreading out. tank in the main. Now, the reason why this map, Gresvan, was known for Blink Stalkers, I mean, one, max packs. He did almost nothing but 4K Blink on Gresvan because of how large the main is. The main base is so large, you can blink into the main, be out of range of the tank, and rotate further back into the mineral line as well, and still be out of range of the tank. Like, the main base is just so large. NightMare, he will expand. Ravenhrast coming in. NightMare moving out. And NightMare, he doesn't reinforce. He's just expanding and just going to be harassing it with 4 Stalkers. Does poke in. Marines are in position. So far, good defense here by Cure. Up. Prism taking a lot of hits. And will it die? Does abandon one of the Stalkers. At the same time, Auto Charge just going ham. 4 more probes going down. Cure, he's all over this. Denies the Prism. Gets damage across the map. And he scouts the 3rd. Cure, he is aware. And this has just been a really shaky and inefficient start here for NightMare. Extra gateways that didn't really come into play, delayed 3rd base as well. Now he's taking up into Charge, into Temple Archives, into Archon production as well. He needs to get more damage done. This is nice. Selecting his micro. Ooh. Getting a couple of Marines. Doesn't lose any additional Stalkers. This is okay damage. But he's hoping for more. Going for the tank, let's go. Drops on top of the tank. Shouldn't get much done though. As Curie does repair. Saves the tank. NightMare being cheeky. Curie moving out. So he does commit. He gets towards the south side. Curie, he doesn't have to stay in. Oh, Prism taking a lot of damage. Again, Curie is committing across the map. And NightMare is getting ready. Storm is almost done. Likewise, drop into the main. Yo, I'm getting flashbacks from Romance's side. Okay, he does whip it back at home. He will defend. It's going to be 3, 4 probe kills. But again, Storm is ready. And Curie doesn't commit. Did I say 3? 9 probe. Oh my god. 9, 10 workers going down. Curie intentionally targeting down every single probe he can. And he will escape. He will get away. Does pull back. NightMare, he's committed. He was hoping to fight the army out in the open. Now back at home, it's going to be that much more difficult. Does have a storm in the War Prism. Does have a storm. More Archons moving in, or warping in even. But I'm not so certain that NightMare can break this. He's going to try though. Once again, more probes going down. He commits. The light shot. Oh my god, no! The Prism goes down! The Prism goes down. Storm is coming in. Tanks are exposed. He gets 1. But the spread is too good. And he might get 2 tanks, but alas, Curie should be able to hold on here. Yeah, the final tank does fall, takes out the Archons, Cure holds. GG gets called as NightMare, he was committed, he was all in, and Cure takes a 2-1 lead. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, NightMare, he had no economy behind this. He had lost far too much to the drop play. He was already far behind when it came to the opener as well. And it was all or nothing for NightMare. Alas, Cure, he was very well set up. NightMare, earlier, he was hoping that Cure would commit. If you remember when Cure, he was being active on the map, he was only posturing. If he had tried to push into the bases, then NightMare, he could have taken the fight. He could have fought out in the open, gotten a surround, collapsed on the army, Storm, of course, as well. And NightMare could have snowballed from there. Cure, thankfully for him, did pull back. He pulled back, went back home, more defensive setup instead. GG. GG, well played with that. Cure takes a lead, and Cure is now 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. NightMare, he has to bring it back here and now to force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. This morning, in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Streamer Zone, down in the series. That's why back here and now, it is NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player from South Korea representing Team Liquid. When Amas one more game is all he needs, it is a cure. We go. Go. So we are going to be settling in. This time, Cure not going for a proxy. Rax back at home. And welcome one and all to Whistles of Gold, of course, a small map of the map pool known for aggression, known for being in the face of your opponent. NightMare, he has been embracing this more gateway-heavy composition with delayed splash damage and faster charge and faster storm. I do favor that kind of style here on Whispers, but we'll see. We'll see if NightMare does mix it up. As he has gone for Stargate openers as well. I'm not too fond of Stargate play on Whispers of Gold, but we'll see. See if he goes for a likewise Cure as well. For now, Economic Opener, Rax Expand, single gas geyser here from the Terran player. We'll be getting a faster CC. Likewise, NightMare opening up, standard back at home. Rax into Cybercore, into Nexus. Meanwhile, 2 games in a row. Looks like Cure, he's going to be even delaying his first Marine here, going Rax straight into CC. Is skipping his Reaper as well, so no SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout. Cure, he has no idea what's going on across the map. He doesn't care, just focusing on his own opener. And again, as with the previous game, should follow this up with Hellions to get some scouting information as well. At least later on. So we'll be scouting with a follow-up. For now, just focusing on defense. We should be seeing a safety bunker here as well. As Cure, he's at least scouting for a proxy. Making sure he doesn't get caught with his pants down. We go. Does check. We have our tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of NightMare. It's going for the Twilight Council. Once again into Blink. Now again, last game we had just a really awkward build with like 5 Blink Stalker into 0 Warpins. Like it was crazy. Definitely something different out of NightMare on Gressvan. But now it's moving out. We have a second gateway on the way. So far, 2 Blink. We'll see if he throws down a third gateway as well. Or if he just throws down a third Nexus. What is it going to be? Meanwhile, the Hellion has arrived. Once again, going to be avoiding the Adept. This time only 1 Hellion, as last game it was 2. Medevac is on the way. And we're not going for a Widowmine drop. Are we going for a Tech drop? Tech Lab, there's no add-ons up here. Tech Lab is done on the factory. Going for the Cyclone. Cyclone is on the way. Cure being a lot more aggressive here early on. Marine, Cyclone, Hellion. Initial drop here, moving out. And it's on NightMare to figure out what's going on. It's on NightMare to scout. As he is getting a third gateway. Very safe play out of NightMare. Third gateway. Robo before expanding. But he has no presence on the map. And here comes the drop. Here comes the Mass Marine drop towards the main. Hellion towards the natural. The Cyclone does stay back at home. So not as committed here for Cure. And we'll see what he can get done. Drop into the main. NightMare, he does notice. He does respond. And Cure is going to try to focus on some of those workers. Likewise, Hellion towards the natural mineral line as well. Oh, does pick away. Does pick up, does get away. Likewise, Hellion is going to be shut down. Nice defense here by NightMare. Doesn't really lose much of anything. Defends both bases and holds. Whew. Does hold on. Blink is done. And now NightMare can expand. Check the vision of Cure. What did he see? He did confirm Blink, of course. He saw the gateways. He saw the lack of extra gateways as well. Should be feeling relatively safe. Back at home. Bunker on the low ground. Tank on the high ground is securing himself. And NightMare, for the first time this series, a Blink opener into a bay, then into a third base. I mentioned earlier that NightMare has been going for this very heavy gateway composition with early charge into just mass zealots, into delayed gases. That is not the case here. This time, earlier gases and earlier tech into Colossus. So much more of a standard composition here by NightMare. Just Blink Stalker into Colossi. It's standard, which usually wouldn't be much to say about, but it's the first time this series, so hey, there you go. First time this series. Third base on the way. Likewise, Cure just building up. Getting to stim, into tanks, into medevac production as well. Looks like he's making his final tank here before the add-on swap. As we are settling in. First Colossus should be out in time for the push. So NightMare should be secure. And likewise does have some spotter units out of the map as well. The Adept, the Observer. He has eyes on Cure. And we'll see if we can just calm things down, embrace our economies, get our third bases up and running. Cure, he's yet to expand. It's still a little bit too soon for the Terran. Just building up first. And he should be moving out with Stim. Stim and Combat Shield still a ways off. Third base going to be on location. Third base has been thrown down. And once the upgrades kick in, then Cure can move out. So much more passive game here on Whispers. Much more passive. I mean, it's been an intense series. Like, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. We're calming things down, taking a breath. The upgrades are just about to finish. They're finishing up, and here comes the move out. Here he does push. The Observer does spot this. Curie spots the Observer. Observer goes down. NightMare, he's now aware that Curie's being active. Dropping into the main. NightMare, he does warp in. Is somewhat ready. Just 2 Stalkers, the upload does complete. Force a recall, massive recall into the main. Losses are ready. Drop is going to be deflected. And he focuses on the medevac, he gets up. Ooh, barely nods, gets one. One full medevac goes down. Nice defense here by NightMare. At the same time, they'll run right towards the third. But Curie is ready. Curie defends. Likewise, upon seeing the army, Curie backs the hell off. He's like, you know what? I don't want to push into Colossus. Backs off, retreats, just going for drop play, and getting into Viking production instead. Meanwhile, NightMare, he has gained map control. He knows it. He's hoping to find the army out in the open. Fourth base on the way. Temple Archives into Storm. Interesting. Not going for a second Robo. Not going for additional Colossus into Disruptor. Not yet. As the drop is activated once again. Does spot the army. Storm is being chronoed as we speak. And likewise, Cure, he's embracing Ghost production. So both players just taking up. We have Viking Ghost on the way for Cure. We have Storm on the way for NightMare. Even going for Warpism speed. Let's go. Potential Storm drops. Or just harass in general. As that is 4 high tempo in the Warpism. Now, we have seen some disastrous mines on Warprisms already this series. So, hopefully we're a little bit more careful. Like, the scary thing here is that this Prism, it's about to be zooming with this upgrade. And that means it can zoom faster into a Widow Mine. So, be very careful. I can see it already as Akira, he does have this minefield set up. Fortifying his army. NightMare ready for a Zealot run by. He has Zealots towards the left, Zealots towards the right. Ready for the push. Storm is now done. How many goes we have? 5. 5 goes so far. Army gets spotted. NightMare, he responds. Going for the tank. Oh, very nice pickup. He gets 1. 1 tank goes down. Down to 2. Storm's coming in. Oh my god. That Prism is so fast. like scarily so. It's like, wear your seatbelt. Don't crash in. Calm down. Be careful. Response, nice on the Ravens. Raven goes down, nice storm. First storm goes off, second storm as well. Out of the prism does go down. Yeah, prism goes down to the Vikings, no more storms left. Colossus are exposed. Oh, this is not the fight. NightMare losing almost everything. Oh my god, he just melts. The prism falls, the Colossus. We have one more storm coming in, but there's nothing left. Oh, takes a storm to the face. But Curie sims it, he sims and he wins. He breaks through the army. Busts into the mineral line, and there's nothing left. There's just nothing here. GG gets called, and Cure, he will take the series at 3-1. GG. GG, well played. A very abrupt end to that fight. It was just it was very sudden where NightMare, he collapsed in, lost everything. It was the tanks, they were pre-siege, a nice pre-spread from Cure as well. He was ready for a fight, and NightMare, he gave it to him. Ideally, you do want to catch the army off guard, catch it on siege if at all possible. You know, start off with a couple of storms, take things a little bit slower, but NightMare, he just committed then and there, lost everything in the process. GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure will take the series, and Cure does advance on into the next round. GG, well played. With that, we do have some updates here to catch up on. Let's go. Let us go. So we switch our scenes over, and we are now halfway through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the first two matches. Skilless took down Nickrex 3-0. Cure takes down NightMare 3-1. And we have two matches left here tonight in the upper bracket, round 2, day number 2 of the OSC Season 12 Championship. We have a best of 5 between Wayne and Christiana, and a best of 5 between Clem and Shameless. Cool, so we have another TvP to end the night, but hey, we have some Zerg. It's crazy. We have a ZVP coming up next, and I feel like this is going to be a close one here. It's going to be a close one. We mentioned previously how Wayne, he has been a little bit less active towards the tail end of 2024. He has been less active. In Wayne's absence, young Yakov, he was the player kind of rising to kind of fill his shoes at the time. But coming into December, Wayne, he's back. Wayne, he's back. He is getting back in form. He has been on that grind, playing in more online tournaments. Likewise, Christiana, instead of taking a break, Christiana, he has been around all year. And he's been looking very strong, improving so much, just improving so much over the course of 2024 and taking down bigger and bigger names towards the end of the year. Of course, it was in recent weeks that Christiana, he 2-0'd Björn and he 2-1'd Creator. He qualified for the Lille League Cup. It was a very impressive performance out of Christiana in those qualifiers, and we've seen him more regularly defeat a Laser. A Laser has been falling more and more frequently against Christiana. So Christiana, he has just been leveling up in general, and he's looking to secure himself as one of the best Protosses in Europe. Likewise, Wayne, I feel like he's going to be a good contender for that, and I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for potentially an ace match. We have yet to experience a Game 5. We could see one here. For now, we're going on a break. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, 2 more best of 5s are coming up next. See you guys in a couple of minutes. See you guys soon. Take this moment to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back in 5 with our ZVP. See you soon. Also, a shout out to Robology. Thank you so much, Robology, for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, Puppy. You did that just as we left. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. We appreciate it. Be back soon after the break. Be back soon.